Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat mga kaibigan. Welcome back sa ating YouTube channel. Ako po si Chico. Sana po ay nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan sa lahat ng mga overseas Filipino workers, non-OFWs or returning overseas Filipinos. Maraming salamat po sa panonood. Alam ko medyo uminit siguro ang inyong ulo nung nakita ninyo ang video title natin ngayong araw na ito. Pero it will make sense at the end of this video, kaya wag po kayong mag-skip sa video na ito from start to finish dahil pwede po nating iwasan na magkaroon ng 21 days mandatory quarantine in total or sobra pa. Okay? I-explain ko po sa inyo kung paanong maiiwasan na magkaroon ng 21 days mandatory quarantine para sa mga non-OFWs at pwede ding mangyari sa mga returning overseas Filipino workers. So basically, ito po ay isang step-by-step guide para po sa mga gusto pong umuwi ng Pilipinas, ano ang kailangan gawin bago mag-travel, hanggang sa pakikipag-coordinate sa inyong mga local government units. We will be flashing some pictures on your screens brought to us by Department of Foreign Affairs para po mas maintindihan po ninyo ako at para po mas masundan po ninyo ang ating video. Okay, so what to do when traveling to the Philippines for non-OFWs, returning overseas Filipinos, and foreign nationals. So before your trip, you have to register to the following E-CIF from point of origin for a unique QR code to be presented to one-stop shop upon arrival in the Philippines. For Terminal 2 PAL passengers, this is the link. And then for Terminal 1 and Terminal 3 foreign airlines, we have here from PADLOB. So kailangan po ninyo mag-register dyan, kailangan ninyong makuha yung unique QR code. Pagkatapos po niyan, isave po ninyo sa inyong mga cellphone. At yun po ang papakita ninyo sa one-stop shop. So next, pre-book at any Bureau of Quarantine accredited quarantine hotel for at least 7 days from your arrival date. And for non-OFWs and foreign nationals, prepare 4,000 pesos for RT-PCR testing and additional cash for transportation expenses. So upon arrival at the airport, you have to submit the accomplished health declaration form to the BOQ, which will be given to you by the airline staff at your point of origin. So pwede nilang ibigay sa inyo bago pa kayo mag-board or pwede din nilang ibigay sa inyo kung nandoon na kayo sa loob ng eroplano. So importante po magdala po kayo ng ballpen para ma-fill out po ninyo yung mga forms na yon. Next, you have to proceed to the OSS briefing area for a briefing by the Philippine Coast Guard on quarantine protocols and distribution of affidavit of undertaking. Right after that, you'll have to proceed to Department of Tourism desk for validation of quarantine hotel facility. So it is always important to have a valid booking to avoid deportation. Kasi pag nalaman ng Department of Tourism or Bureau of Quarantine or Bureau of Immigration na pineke or dinoktor ninyo yung booking confirmation na yon, ora-orada ay pwede po kayong ipa-deport. Alright? Next, you have to proceed to private laboratory desk for processing of data and pay for RT-PCR testing to be conducted at your chosen quarantine hotel facility. So you'll pay at least 4,000 pesos for that, and then proceed to Bureau of Immigration for clearance and passport checks, retrieve your luggages after, and then submit duly accomplished affidavit of undertaking to PCG. Pag natapos na po lahat yon, pwede na po kayong kumuha ng taxi papunta po sa inyong chosen quarantine facility or hotels and observe strict quarantine procedure. Now, while you're on quarantine, there are certain safety protocols that you need to follow. So while you are there, you can plan, you can consider and prepare airline ticket or bus ticket to your LGUs. And also, pwede din po kayo mag-coordinate sa inyong mga LGUs para mabigyan po kayo ng letter of acceptance para makapasok po kayo doon. And also a travel pass from any PNP office at point of departure. On day 6, you can take the RT-PCR swab test at the quarantine facility by the assigned COVID-19 private laboratory. But still, you have to continue observing strict quarantine protocols while waiting for test results. Okay, so hindi po kayo lalabas ng quarantine facility, sila po ang pupunta sa inyo para iswab po kayo on the 6th day. Okay, next, upon receipt of negative RT-PCR test result via email, wait for the BOQ health certificate indicating actual number of days on quarantine. So it's important to have an active email, and you always have to check your emails regularly because they will send the test result sa email po ninyo. Wala pong ibang nakakaalam ng inyong resulta, kayon lamang po at yung kumuha po ng inyong swab test. So very confidential po ang resulta ng RT-PCR test result niyo. So once everything is clear, kung negative na po kayo at lahat at pwede na kayong mag-check out, you can present yourself to the quarantine hotel facility in charge with a negative RT-PCR test result. So now, upon clearance, avail of authorized transportation to your final destination. Do not loiter around and expose yourself to possible source of transmission. Your delay in reporting to your LGU can be ground for imposition of another 14 days quarantine. Okay, inuulit po natin, your delay in reporting to your LGU can be a ground for imposition of another 14 days of quarantine. So always observe health protocols during your travel. Now, upon your arrival in your locality, report to your barangay officials for accounting and instructions. So actually, your LGU has been already informed earlier about your arrival through a DILG mechanism. Kaya naman po, sobrang importante po na doon sa mga forms na fini-fill out po ninyo, ilagay po ninyo ang tamang address na inyong uuwian. Okay po? Then after that, you have to complete home quarantine at your barangay to complete the required 14 days quarantine or as your LGU instructs. So pwedeng home quarantine or pwedeng sa quarantine facility. And then once released from quarantine by LGU, continue observing minimum health standards like wearing of face mask, maintaining physical distance, and washing of hands. Kaya po sobrang importante na sundin po ninyo ang safety protocol at pag sinabi po nilang umuwi ka agad sa inyong LGU, uwi po ka agad sa inyong mga LGUs dahil stricto po ang mga LGU sa pagpapatupad ng quarantine. So narinig naman po ninyo, failure to present yourself at your LGUs is subject to another 14 days quarantine. Now sa mga OFWs naman, kasi may mga OFWs tayong mga kaibigan na nagsasabi na, Sir, kasi po gusto ko pagkatapos ng quarantine ko dito sa Metro Manila, hindi pa po ako uwi ng probinsya. Gusto ko pa po magstay sa Maynila sandali kasi may aasikasuhin po ako. So in your case po, kailangan po ninyong ilagay sa health declaration form na address ay ang uuwian po ninyo sa Maynila. Yung remainder ng 14 days ninyo ay doon po ninyo tatapusin. Now kung uuwi na po kayo sa inyong LGU, that will be subject to another 14 days mandatory quarantine. Okay po, naiintindihan po ba ninyo ako? So ibig sabihin lamang po noon, 14 days sa Manila at 14 days sa inyong mga LGUs. So that's a total of 28 days na mandatory quarantine. So yun po yung ibig nating sabihin. Pero pwede po nating iwasan yan. Sundin lamang natin yung mga nararapat na mga safety protocols para hindi na po mapahaba pa ang ating quarantine days. Alam ko it is kind of difficult, especially po sa mga non-OFWs kasi sila po ang magbubook ng kanilang ticket, bus man yan or airplane para makauwi sa inyong LGU, but rest assured po na na-notify na po yung inyong LGUs na inyong uuwian. So meron pong susundo sa inyo pagdating po ninyo sa airport. So wag po kayong mag-alala doon. All you have to do is follow all the safety protocols and go home safe. Alright? So sana po klaro po sa inyong lahat yan mga kaibigan. Kung meron pa po kayong ibang katanungan, wag po kayong mahihiyang mag-comment sa comments box section. Susubukan po nating sagutin ang inyong mga tanong. Huwag din po ninyong kalimutang i-like at i-share ang video na ito at mag-subscribe sa ating YouTube channel. Hit that bell notification para ma-notify po kayo sa mga videos kagaya po nito na lagi po nating ina-upload. I will see you guys in my next video. Spread love and not hate everyone. Love one another and stay safe. Bye!